Hi there, it's Dan here from Flexxable, and today I'm going to talk about how you can create webhooks and catch hooks inside Zapier. Let's dive in. Well, it's kind of embarrassing me creating a video on this, to be honest with you, because I actually never really log into Zapier for any of this type of stuff. I have my team kind of look after this. So me creating a video is actually pretty funny when you think about it, which is why I'm going to hand over to Graham, because he's the guy in my business that does all of this type of stuff, right? Whether you're using a CRM like HighLevel, you've got landing pages in Unbounce, and you're passing leads to different CRMs and all that type of stuff, you're going to need to know this skill if you want to get good at what you're doing and make sure that nothing breaks. Okay, it's super important, and I'll pass you over to him now.
Hey guys, thanks Dan. So yeah guys, so this video is going to go over how to create a webhook and a catch hook in Zapier. Now the difference between those two, basically a webhook sends data to somewhere like a CRM. So it collects the data and sends it and hooks it into another app. A catch hook is something you add to an app that catches data, and then that will hold it, and that allows you to send it somewhere else. Okay? So a webhook collects and sends, a catch hook collects and holds until you want to send it to somewhere else. So Zapier can do both. So I'm going to show you how to do a webhook first, and then we'll get onto the catch hook, okay? So basically, you'd have somewhere like this in Zapier. You just want to press create, and you want to press create new zap. It will load up a screen like this, okay? Now, the first example we're going to go through is basically an app to a webhook, basically, which basically means in Zapier you can connect a lot of different apps like Facebook lead ads, Unbounce, Typeform, Leadshook, all those kind of like lead generation tools that you would be collecting data on that you may need to webhook somewhere. So you just start with an app basically, and I've started with Facebook lead ads, as that's quite simple. So you just want to go through, you want to select new lead, Facebook lead ads as the app, a new lead as the event. You want to connect your Facebook account. Then you want the trigger, which is basically going to be your page, and then the form that you want to send the data from. And then you want to put in a test. Okay. And it's important to have this test lead in there so you know which fields are full and want to be sent to the webhook. Okay. Once that's done, you want to go to the next stage where you want to add an action here, and you want it to be webhooks by Zapier. Okay, I've already set it up, so I'm not going to do that. That's what you want to do. So it'll be webhooks by Zapier, and the event you want is a post. Okay. Now, before we get onto this, for example, if you're webhooking this into a client CRM or want to, you will need to ask them for a posting document. They'll know what that is. Basically, what the posting document gives you, it's basically the instructions on how to send data to their CRM. Okay. Now, the things that you'll need from that posting document are in the action section here. So make sure you get webhooks by Zapier and post, press continue. Now, the thing that you need is the URL that you're going to be sending the leads to, which should be, you know, a branded up URL that has these like cool little things in, like REST API, IP, whatever, and it should have leads on there as well. All CRMs differ, so that's the issue with doing like a catch-all tutorial on webhooks. All CRMs will differ, so it's vital you get the posting document from the client. Sometimes you can Google it if the client knows what their CRM is. So, for example, say it's HubSolve, you could go and search it like HubSolve posting document, and you would still need their URL. But look, so here, HubSolve, this is a very commonly used CRM in the debt industry in the UK, and this tells you kind of like this is what you want. It would be this basically, but you'd need this section from the client. So normally it'd be their client's name, and also you'd want create a client record via API. That's the one. So that's kind of what you'd want to be sending it to, except you need to change this for your client's one. And a lot of these CRMs will have the same thing, but definitely ask your client for the posting document. Okay. And once you have that, you'll be able to input the URL that you're sending it to, copy and paste. Payload type, normally I use form. if they will tell you on the posting document whether they need it in JSON or XML. Now, all this means is it's the language it talks. This doesn't affect Zapier, so if I select that, it won't affect this, and if I select XML, it won't affect this. It's just Zapier will do it on the back end, so you need to know how it's done. But if it does specify they need it in this type of language, then select it. Most are okay with just payload type form. And then what you want to go and do is map the custom fields. So on your Facebook lead form or any form that you have, every question will have a custom field attributed to it. So it'd be like first underscore name, last underscore name, phone. It's basically the name of the field that houses the data for that question. Okay. Now, on the right hand side here, this is where you want to map the data from this section here. So here is a Facebook lead ad, but whatever app you have up here, you want to map the data on the right hand side. So very simply, you can just click and you want to just put full name in there, which I've already done. And on this side, you want to map it to the CRM that you're sending it to. Okay. So currently I'm sending it into our leads hook, which is like kind of a lead distribution CRM. Your client will have certain fields that they want populating. So their field for full name may be different to this. It may just be name. They may want it as first and last name, like so. That will also be on the posting document. On their posting document, it should give you the fields that they want to be populated, and then you can map your fields to the relevant fields on the left-hand side. So for this example, I'm posting through the full name, which is the full name inside Facebook, email, which is the email inside Facebook. Phone one is the custom field in LeadByte for the phone number. So I'm just posting in phone number. Website URL, I'm posting in what is your company's website URL. The UTM sources, these are stuff that you can do. Most of the time, a client CRM will have fields called field one, field two, field three, field four, field five, which are empty fields that allow you to post data that they don't necessarily care about, but it just allows you to post extra data with that lead. So, for example, if you posted where the campaign ad set ad name came from into their CRM, each week, you could ask them to send you through a list of people who have converted for them, and then you can track back to the campaign, the ad set, and the ad which ones are doing best on a conversion basis for your client, which gives you more data to go and optimize your ad account. But again, this is just something that I've added in for myself. You don't necessarily have to send this through, but it's good practice too. If they have those empty fields, some don't have those empty fields, so you won't be able to do it. So you just X out of these, just X, 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 X. Then the next section, so these are what we call static fields. And what I mean by static fields is that every single lead comes through will have the exact same data in these fields. So every single lead that comes through will have solo dash configurator for the campaign ID, one for the supplier ID, and so on and so forth. These up here are called dynamic fields, which basically change with each lead that comes through. Okay, so that's the difference between static and dynamic. These will be different for every single CRM. Some CRMs have less, some CRMs have more, but normally there will always be one static field that goes through into your customer CRM, and that's basically telling their CRM that it's from you, basically. So it could even just be a number. They may assign you a number inside their CRM, or you may be typing in your agency name, but there will always be one, or there should always be one static field in their CRM. Again, this will be in the posting document. For LeadByte, obviously, it's more of a lead distribution system than a CRM, although it can act as both. So it has a few that you can add in. A couple you definitely need are the supplier ID and the campaign ID, which basically tells you which campaign the lead is coming in for, because you may have multiple campaigns. And this is the supplier ID, which basically tells LeadByte who is supplying the lead. Is it you? Is it one of your people that you've got sending leads in on white label? So it's a good way to track. If you're sending it to a client CRM, it will probably just have something like a client ID or something like that, which you'll have to put in your number they've given you, or it would be your name. Okay, so you probably won't have as many as static fields as this. And then I've just popped through a few other things, which is lead form ID platform. If you're sending leads into a client, you may have to send a lot more kind of like questions. If you've got a long type form or a long lead cert quiz where you've got a lot of fields populating and they need certain criteria before they know if they can sell to them or something like that, you just add them on here. You'd write the custom field that the client has given you, and then you'd map it across to whatever field that is in your quiz or lead form. Okay. I hope you're all following. It can be confusing to get your head around this at first, but once you do your first webhook and you do it correctly, it's plain sailing from there, really. So that should all go through okay. The rest down here, I would keep it the same. So no, unflattened, yes. Now the final thing, and again, this will be in your posting document, will be the API key. So the API key and the URL go hand in hand. Occasionally, on some CRMs, the API key will go on the end of the URL and you won't need a header. But normally there will be a header, ID, and the data that goes in there. Lead byte is called X underscore key for the API key, but usually it'll be something like either key or API key or API key, depending on the CRM. So again, there's no one fits all. It will depend on the posting document. That's why it's so important to get the posting document across. So that makes sure that it allows the data in. So this will all work. So I press continue and I press retest action. Let's go see. We can refresh the page. And there should be a lead in there now. There we go. Test dummy for data. So as you can see, it's come through. Should have all the data on it. Yeah, test email, last name, first name. So that's worked. Wow. Okay. So that's all worked, and that's how you set up a webhook basically from an app. If you have any questions on how to do this, please pop something below, and I'll try my best to help you out. But definitely, it's very important to try and get the posting document so you get all this information. So the next thing we want to go on to is the catch hook. Now, the catch hook is brilliant. For example, if like the app's not inside Zapier. So there's no Zap inside Zapier, or say, for example, in a high level workflow or a workflow in your CRM, you can just pop in a webhook rather than trigger something off a tag in Zapier. Because I feel like that's a bit spotty on a lot of apps at the moment. Catch hooks are a lot quicker than apps as well. So I actually tend to use catch hooks a lot more than actually using the app triggering sometimes. And what I mean by a catch hook is so you want to select Webhooks by Zapier again, and you want to select catch hook this time, and then you want to go to ignore that, and now what it will give you is a URL basically. Okay, so you can put this anywhere you want to catch data. So when data is sent to this, it's not sent anywhere unless you pre-told it to do so. So in this demo catch hook, I'm sending it to a webhook. So what we want to do is we want to copy this webhook and you want to put it um, on your application or quiz or something like that to send data through. So it could be on your type form, your leads hook, or even your unbounce form. So I'm going to show you on unbounce how to do it. Leads hook, you just put a little API node in there that just sends it straight to this catch hook. And I believe type form, you can do the same. So for example, you've got a form on unbounce. You can just go into your page, go to integrations. You want to go to webhooks, add webhook, and then you just want to post in this. And you want to save changes. Okay, done. And now you want to test it. So I'm going to open up this page. It's one of our pages for Flexxable. And I'm going to go with okay. So it's very important to do this after you've added your webhook or catchhook into the integrations, because then that sends a test lead through, so there'll be data for you to get here. I've already got data because I've used it. So I'm going to find a new record. And so you can see that this is the one I've just put through. So I'm going to continue this selected record. And now it's going to go on to the webhook. So this is exactly the same as we did before. So we can go, so it wants full name in lead byte. So for example, there's no full name here. Oh, no, there's not. So I'm going to just put in first name, space, last name. And then I'm going to put in the email. There's no phone number, so I'll remove the phone number and website URL. UTM source, if I had pulled them through, I could use that, but there's no UTM source or medium or content or campaign. I would usually have that. I'm going to keep the statics in there. I've changed it slightly, so it'll be catch up from unbounced, solar lead, industry solar. So I would just send this through now to lead by same API key. So I press continue, and then I'm going to skip test. And I'm going to publish this. And then we're going to do another test here, just to show you how it works. There we go. Okay, let's see if it's worked. There we go, cool. So this has come through now. Full name, name. Catching unbounced. So that has worked well. So that's how catch-up works. So it just catches the data and sends it through to a webhook. And also, you can also catch up data and send it to another app on Zapier as well. So it'll be the exact same catch up, although if you duplicate your Zap or make another Zap with a catch up, it'll be a separate URL. So always have separate URLs for each catch up in Zapier. So do make sure you copy the correct URL. You can get confused quickly, which will be here, this one. And then basically it will catch up the data from, say, unbounce, and it can update a contact in the CRM if Zapier has that as an app. So you can add it to a list, and then you can add email address, name, like you've done on Zapier quite a lot. Just map it to the correct custom field inside your CRM that Zapier automatically brings through, and that's how a catch-up works, basically. So it is quite simple to put onto Zapier. Just to show you something, I made an error in one of my earlier zaps. So I just wanted to show you how this can sometimes not work unless it's already been pushed through. It's already been pushed through. Anyway, what I did was I'll redo it and show you what happened. So I accidentally put a hyphen instead of an underscore in here. And just to show you what happens, I'll test the action. I'll say no key specified. And that is because it's not understanding the X key header. It has to be an underscore. So when I do that, I can go test action. Test action again. You want to see some feedback. Cool. Yeah. So because that I've pushed that through already, it's a duplicate anyway. So that's an error because LeadByte doesn't allow a duplicate in there. But it would have been a success if it wasn't already in there. So I'm just going to go and delete that just to show you how this works. There we go. So now that's deleted. I can go and retest the action. Success. Cool. So it's just simple things like that. You want to make sure you've done the form fields exactly as they are shown in the posting document, and always test inside here and let your client know once you've tested it. So then they can go and check the data that's come through to their CRM and let you know if something hasn't come through. Because occasionally you'll have something in this side sending through some data that isn't formatted correctly, and they'll have to let you know if it hasn't come through or if you need to format it in a certain way. So, for example, sometimes if you send, well, I won't confuse you, but just make sure it's all formatted in the correct way. So sometimes they won't allow capitals on emails. That will get a failed response. but inside this testing section, it should tell you everything you need to know. It will tell you if it's an error, and it will tell you why it's an error, and you can go and try and fix it. Okay, guys. Hopefully that's helped you out a little bit. Webhooks are a little bit confusing to get your head around at first, but once you have done your first one, it should be pretty plain sailing after that. But yeah, guys, if you have any questions, please pop it down below, and I'll really happily get back to you about it. Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thanks for that, Graham. If you're still watching this video and you would like to ask some questions to Graham, or you've got any comments, please comment below. Give us a like or a thumbs up so we know to create more videos like this that are going to help you. And lastly, please subscribe to our channel so you'll be the first to know whenever we create new videos like this. Take care.